Hello explorers and adventurers, welcome to Sunday School. Hope you guys are well. Hope you've had a good week at school. For those of you who have been at school, some of you are still at home, and that's not too cool, but it can be. Today in Sunday School, we're going to first talk about what we learned last week in Sunday School. Can you remember? Jesus fed more than 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Now, I can eat 5 loaves and 2 fish by myself. I shouldn't, but I can. So I don't know how 5,000 people were there. Immediately after that, Jesus told his disciples to go and climb into a boat and go across the Sea of Galilee. However, when they did that, out on the water, there was a storm. And the wind blew and there were massive waves and the water was coming in the boats and the boat was rocking up and down, left and right, forwards and backwards. And the disciples thought, uh-oh, we've got a problem. We're going to sink and we're going to drown. They were scared for their lives. However, in the middle of the night, while everything is dark and they can't see what's going on, just over there, they look. And they're not sure what they see, so they put their glasses on. And it's Jesus. He's walking to them on the water. Hold on. Let me check my script again. That's not possible. You know, if I go and jump in a swimming pool, I go under the water. But somehow, Jesus was managing to walk on top of the water. Not only did this happen, but when Peter, one of the disciples, when he was in the boat and they all saw Jesus over there, Peter shouted to Jesus. And Jesus said, "Peter, come, join me on the water." So Peter stepped out of the boat and onto the water. Now, Peter was walking on top of the water. Not only is it amazing to hear Jesus was walking, but Peter also started walking. I mean, this is a miracle. You guys watch a video about this. I need to calm down.
Jesus had been teaching crowds of people by the Sea of Galilee. It was getting late, so he told his disciples to get into the boat and go to the other side of the sea. Jesus sent the crowds away and went up on the mountain to pray by himself. That evening, the boat was far from the shore. The wind blew and the waves tossed the boat around. Jesus was still on the mountain alone. Around 3 a.m, Jesus came toward his disciples walking on the sea. When the disciples saw Jesus, they were terrified. "It's a ghost!" they cried. Right away, Jesus spoke to them. "Have courage, it's me. Do not be afraid." Peter answered, "Lord, if it really is you, tell me to come to you on the water." So Jesus said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water toward Jesus. But when Peter saw how strongly the wind was blowing, he was afraid. Peter began to sink. "Lord, save me," he cried. Jesus reached out his hand and grabbed Peter. Jesus said, "You have little faith. Why do you doubt?" They got into the boat and the wind stopped. Then everyone in the boat worshiped Jesus and said, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Jesus proved that he can be trusted. His miracles, teaching, death, and resurrection show that he is who he says he is. Only Jesus can save us when we look to him in faith.
Okay. I think I get it. The reason why Jesus was able to walk on the water is because Jesus is more than just a human being. He's also the Son of God. He was able to do something that doesn't make sense to all the scientists in the world. That's pretty amazing. It tells us that Jesus is able to do things even if no one has ever done it before. Even if you've never seen it before. Even if some people say it can't be done. Jesus can do it. So if you're in trouble and you ask him for help and he says, I'll help you, he'll help you, because nothing can get in his way. Even if there's water, he'll just walk on top of it. That's pretty cool to know that Jesus is on your side, and if you need help, he's there to help you, and nothing can stop him because he can do anything. Let's recap. Jesus walked on the Sea of Galilee. Do you guys know where that is? I mean, it's really amazing. So let's have a real quick look at where this happened. You see, we're here in Durban. If we were to jump into a super fast jet, we could zoom up and travel all the way over Africa and go and land here in Israel. Now here's this little sea. And when I say little, it's smaller than all the other big oceans, but you can't stand on one side and see the other side. It is huge. If you could walk on water, it would take you hours to walk from one shore all the way over the water to the other shore. Jesus, with his disciples, fed more than 5,000 people over here. And then he said to them, jump in the boats and go to the other side, which is round about here in this yellow square. In the middle of the night, the storm was almost sank the disciples' boat. They happened to see Jesus walking on the water. Here, or 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 here. That is the real place where Jesus really walked on real water. I've never seen this Sea of Galilee with my own eyes. It really does exist. It's a real place you can go to. And it's a place where Jesus really walked on water. If there is something that you think is impossible, ask God. And if he agrees to do it, he'll make it happen, because he can do miracles.
Hi there, I'm Pastor Brian, and it's time for Questions from Kids. Julia from East Orange, New Jersey asks,
how can I have a stronger faith?
Oh, Julia, that is a question we all need to keep asking ourselves. Great question. So here's the thing. We know that faith needs to be grown. It's kind of like a muscle. Some people have called it a muscle that you have to keep exercising and stretching it so it grows and becomes stronger. And so how do we do that? Well, there are a few ways that we can do that. The first one I can think of is by spending more time in the Bible. The more we read the Bible, the more we study it, the more we understand who God is, the way he works, the greater confidence we have in him. We know how we're to live. And so reading the Bible is perhaps one of the greatest ways you can grow in your faith. Other ways are prayer, talking with God, asking him to grow you, asking him to help you learn and to live on faith. Another way is by worshiping, being part of a church. This is why it's so important that we're part of a family of faith, and we gather regularly and worship together and study together and talk through these things, learn from one another. But all these things lead us to this one idea that I think is really important you hear. You have to stretch your faith. You have to put yourself in positions that are uncomfortable at times to grow in that faith. Think again about muscles. Think about, lifting weights. Lifting weights is not easy. You have to strain and stretch yourself, and you add more weight, and there are times you're like, I don't know if I can do this, but you keep pushing, and it's through that exertion that your muscles grow stronger. If you never put weights on the barbell and just lifted an empty barbell, you're not gonna really gain muscle. So it's the same thing with our faith. If we're never stretching ourselves, if we're never stepping into those uncomfortable areas of life, if we're never sitting down with that person in the cafeteria and praying that God opens a conversation to talk about your faith with him or her, then you're not gonna grow as much. It's through those uncomfortable, stretching moments that we really grow. So I wanna encourage you to do that. Share your faith with other people. Go on mission trips. live for Christ day by day, and you will see your faith grow by leaps and bounds, I believe, when you do that. So I hope that has been helpful. And again, that's something that we all need to be doing. So question back for you. Who or what are you looking to be secure? Where is your faith found?